Chapter 5 Provisions relating to license. Chapter 5. Section 38. Provision relating to license conversion. के भयो त भन्दाखेरि Section 38. If any financial institution of a lower class wishes to convert into a bank or financial institution of one level higher class, it shall be required to make an application to Rashtra Bank along with particulars prescribed by the Rashtra Bank. However, there is no provision of conversion of D class institution into higher class. While making an examination of the application and particulars attached therewith, कति पानी परेको आमा राति पनि पानी पर्यो अहिले पनि पानी परिरहेछ. While making an examination of the application and particulars attached herewith, the Rashtra Bank, if finds appropriate to convert into a bank or financial institution of one level higher class, may give prior approval to such bank or financial institution subject to the following terms and conditions. If it has paid off capital as prescribed by Nepal Rashtra Bank for a bank or financial institution of such a higher class, paid up capital पुग्नु पर्यो. If it has maintained the capital adequacy fund as directed by Rashtra Bank since last 5 years. 5 years, has earned profit since last 5 consecutive years, and has its average non-performing loan of last 5 years within the limit as prescribed by Rashtra Bank. काठमाडौँमा त पानी परिरहेछ हौ साथीहरु. त्यतातिर के छ अवस्था कुन्नी? यहाँ त लास्ट पानी परिरहेछ यार. If it has paid up capital as prescribed by Rashtra Bank for a bank or financial institution of higher class, if it has I'm studying in room. It's raining outside. If it has maintained the capital adequacy fund as directed by Rashtra Bank since the last 5 years and has earned profit since last 5 consecutive years and its average non-performing loan of last 5 years within the limit prescribed by the Nepal Rashtra Bank. If it has a return of its preliminary expenses, if the shares required to be issued publicly are issued and allotted. Okay. If the general meeting has passed the special resolution of conversion into bank or financial institution of higher class. I am from Kathmandu, Nepal. If it has met all the conditions as prescribed by Rashtra Bank shall require the bank or financial institution that has received their prior approval as above to amend the MOA, Memorandum of Association and Article of Association pursuant to the prevailing laws and issue the license to the bank or financial institution of higher class. I am from Kathmandu, and where are you from? If section chapter 5 provision relating to license conversion into bank or financial institution of higher class, that is section 38. If any financial institution of lower class wishes to convert into a bank or financial institution of one level higher class, it shall be required to make an application to Rashtra Bank along with the particulars prescribed by the Rashtra Bank. However, there is no provision of conversion of Class D institution into higher class. While making an examination of the application and particulars attached therewith, the Rashtra Bank, if it finds appropriate to convert into bank or financial institution of one level higher class, may give prior approval to such bank or financial institution subject to the following terms and conditions. If it has paid a capital as prescribed by Rashtra Bank for a bank or financial institution of such higher class, if it has maintained the capital adequacy fund as directed by Rashtra Bank since last 5 years and has earned profit since last 5 consecutive years and has an average non-performing loan of last 5 years within the limit prescribed by the Rashtra Bank. You are from India. India, which city? If it has return of its preliminary expenses, if the shares required to be issued publicly are issued and allotted, if the general meeting has passed the special resolution of conversion into bank or financial institution of higher class, if it has met all the conditions as prescribed by Rashtra Bank. Rashtra Bank shall require the bank or financial institution that has received the prior approval as above to amend Memorandum of Association and Article of Association pursuant to the prevailing law and issue license of bank or financial institution of higher class. Okay. Capital Fund, General Reserve Fund, Declaration and Section 47. It's raining outside. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Provision relating to capital fund and liquid assets. Delhi. Okay. Section 47. Section 47, capital, section 41, section 42, section 47, 45, 47. Declaration and distribution of dividend. Okay, you are from Delhi. Declaration and distribution of dividend, section 47. Why are you not protesting? Protest has been already stopped since 2-3 days, and it's now peaceful in Kathmandu. Protest was like in 8th and 9th September, and today is 16th, means it was about 8 days ago, and today there is no any protest. Now all is well. Section 47 provides a bank or financial institution shall obtain approval of Rashtra Bank before declaring and distributing dividend. It shall not be allowed to declare or distribute dividend to the shareholder until it recovers all of its preliminary expenses and the losses sustained by it until the previous year has not been set off. Recover until it recovers all of its preliminary expenses and losses sustained by it until the previous year has not been no protest. The losses sustained by it until the previous year has been set off. Capital as prescribed by the Nepal Rashtra Bank has been maintained. As prescribed by the Rashtra Bank. In which class do we study? You may guess it. You can guess it. Can you guess it? Capital prescribed by Nepal Rashtra Bank has been maintained. Set aside the amount as required to be set aside for set aside such amount as required to be set aside for capital fund. Provision for possible losses and for general reserve fund pursuant to section 44 and until complete sale of shares to be allotted to the general public. Okay. Bank financial institution, section 50. मौसम तो ऐसा है, दिल गार्डन गार्डन हो गया। सेक्शन चैप्टर 7 provision relating to operation of banking and financial transactions. Activities prohibited for being carried out by bank or financial institution. Activities prohibited for being carried out by bank or financial institutions. Section 50. Section 50. 49. 50. Section 50 has restricted the following activities to be carried out or caused to be carried out by bank or financial institution. Purchasing or selling goods for commercial. Purchasing or selling goods for commercial purpose. Constructing, building or purchasing any immobile property except when it is required for its own purpose. B number. Advancing credit against the security of its own share. C number. Supplying any kind of credit or facility to any director person who has subscribed 1% or more of its share, chief executive or any family members of such person or managing agent or person, firm, company having authority to appoint director or institution having significant ownership, or any firm, company or institution having financial interest. D number. Supplying credit or facility in any amount exceeding per customer limit of its capital fund as prescribed by Rashtra Bank to a single customer, company and companies or partnership firm of a single group associate person. Supplying any type of credit to any person, firm, company or institution against the guarantee given by the promoter, director or chief executive. Making investment in securities of a bank or financial institution which is classified as A, B or and C by Rashtra Bank. Making investment of an amount exceeding the limit as prescribed by Rashtra Bank in share capital of any institution. Indulging with other bank or financial institution to mutually create any type of monopoly cartel or any type of control practice in financial institution. Doing any kind of act which is capable of creating an artificial obstruction in the competitive environment of financial sector with the intention of deriving undue or unjustified advantage. And doing such other act prohibited from being done by the Bank of Financial Institution as may be prescribed by Nepal Rashtra Bank. Yes, I know Hindi, I understand, but I can't talk. Subsection 2 provides, notwithstanding anything mentioned in this section, nothing shall deem to prevent a bank or financial institution for carrying on its banking and financial transaction or providing accommodation or other facility to its employee pursuant to prevailing employee by law of bank or financial institution, supplying credit against bond issued by for okay for carrying out its banking and financial transaction or providing accommodation or other facility to its employee pursuant to the prevailing employee by law of bank or financial institution, supplying credit against the bond issued by government in Nepal or Rashtra Bank, providing credit against the collateral of fixed deposit received or against amount available in any kind of saving account, and providing of credit to promoter, director, chief executive or shareholder subscribing more than 1% share against the collateral of their own fixed deposit against bond issued by government in Nepal or Rashtra Bank, or providing credit card facility within the prescribed limit. Okay. Activities prohibited for being carried out by Bank of Financial Institution. Section 50. Section 50 has restricted the following activities to be carried out or cost to be carried out by Bank of Financial Institution: purchasing or selling goods for commercial purpose, constructing building, purchasing or selling goods for commercial purpose, constructing building or purchasing any immovable property except when it is required for its own purpose, advancing credit against the security of its own share, supplying any kind of credit or facility to any director, person who have subscribed 1% or more of its share, chief executive or any family member of such person, or managing agent or person, firm, company having authority to appoint director, or institution having significant ownership, or any firm, company or institution. Supplying credit or facility in an amount exceeding per customer limit of its capital fund as prescribed by Rashtra Bank to a single customer, company and companies or partnership firm of a single group associate person, supplying any type of credit to any person, firm, company or institution against the guarantee given by the promoter, director or chief executive, and making investment in securities of bank or financial institution which is classified as A, B and C type by the Nepal Rashtra Bank, making investment of an amount exceeding the limit as prescribed by Nepal Rashtra Bank in the share capital of any institution. Okay. Indulging with other bank or financial institution to mutually create any type of monopoly, cartel or any type of control practice in financial institution, doing any kind of act which is capable of creating an artificial obstruction in the competitive environment of financial sector with the intention to derive undue advantage. I am studying. Doing such other act prohibited from being done by bank or financial institution as may be prescribed by Rashtra Bank. Okay. Chapter 8 Provision relating to supply and recovery of credit. Section 55. Section 55 provides a bank or financial institution shall apply credit only after disclosing the purpose of such credit subject to the directive of the Nepal State Bank and credit policy determined by Board of Directors. While supplying credit, a bank or financial institution shall obtain any movable or immovable acceptable property acceptable to its as a security or an appropriate guarantee in a manner to safeguard its depositors' interest. A bank or financial institution shall write to the concerned office to show withhold property which has been taken off as the security against a credit pursuant to this section, that such property cannot be registered in the name of or transferred to any person or transmission thereof, and shall be registered or transmission or withhold in the name of the bank or financial institution. Financial institution. When requested to registration or transmission or withhold the property, the concerned office shall do registration or transmission or withhold pursuant to the request. The Nepal State Bank may give directives to disburse credit for such class and in such area as prioritized for the economic upliftment of the person belonging to low income and indigent poor class and of inhabitant people residing in any specific geographic region. The bank or financial institution shall disburse credit according to the prescribed directive. The matter relating to the condition installment. I'm fine. I'm alright. The matter related to the condition, installment, and interest of the credit borrowed from bank or financial institution shall be as per the condition, installment, and interest mentioned in the deed or contract signed related to the credit transaction. While supplying the credit, the bank or financial institution shall clearly disclose the loan amount provided to the borrower, interest rate, penalties applicable, and repayment schedule in the loan deed or contract, and provide such information to the borrower or guarantor if any. The borrower may request for the particular of principal, interest, penalties, and other fees paid or due payable in respect of credit, and also the deed or contract related to document which has been taken while providing the credit. It shall be the duty of the concerned bank or financial institution to provide such particulars to the borrower. I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. Where are you from? It's raining outside in Kathmandu, Nepal. 657. Provision relating to recovery of credit. Provision relating to recovery of CRAT credit. Section 57. 57. Section 57 provide if the borrower fails to abide by the mentioned term of consent deed or contract of credit transaction, or fail to pay credit or interest thereon, or penalties within the time limit stipulated in deed or contract, or if the licensed institution find through monitoring pursuant to section 56 that the borrower has not used the credit amount for the purpose for which it has been supplied or misused it, the bank or financial institution may, notwithstanding anything mentioned in the concerned deed or in law in force of the credit transaction, recover the principal and interest by auctioning or otherwise disposing of any property pledged to it or any collateral or security deposited with it by the borrower. Notwithstanding anything mentioned in the prevailing law, if a borrower relinquishes handover in any manner the title of the property, registered or placed to the bank or financial institution, or if the value of such collateral or security declined for any other reason, the bank or financial institution may ask the borrower to furnish additional collateral or security within a period prescribed by it. The borrower shall furnish the additional collateral or security within a time limit prescribed by the bank or financial institution. If the borrower fails to furnish the additional collateral or the principal and interest cannot be recovered from the collateral or security, the bank or financial institution may recover its principal or interest from any other movable and immovable property owned by the borrower or to which the borrower has title in accordance with the prevailing law in force. The amount of principal, interest, and penalties due to the bank or financial institution and the expense incurred in collecting proceeds from auction or the other disposal of property made pursuant to this section shall be deducted, and the balance, if any, shall be refunded to the concerned borrower. The bank or financial institution shall write to the concerned office for registration or transmission of assets, auction or sold pursuant to this section in the name of the person who has taken over it. When so requested for registration or transmission of assets, the concerned office shall make registration or transmission in the name of such person who has taken over it. If no one offers a bid in auction, sale under this section of the movable and immovable property pledged as the collateral or security, the bank or financial institution may take over the ownership of such property as prescribed. The bank or financial institution shall write to the concerned office for registration or transmission of the property of which ownership has been taken over by such institution in its name. When so requested, the concerned office shall make registration or transmission of such property in the name of bank or financial institution. If the previous owner of the property taken over by a bank or financial institution or any person in an auction refuses or create obstruction to allow its possession and use the appropriate body of the government in Nepal shall arrange for possession and use according to the prevailing law. If the borrower has failed to repay the credit borrowed from the bank or financial institution and interest thereon and penalties within the repayment period of the credit deed or contract related to the credit transaction, the bank or financial institution shall write to the Credit Information Center. Credit Information Center to include such borrower in the blacklist in accordance with the law in force. If a credit cannot be recover even while taking action for the recovery of credit against any borrower pursuant to this section, the bank or financial institution concerned may institute action for recovery of credit, including the withholding of property of the borrower situated abroad in accordance with the prevailing law in force. If a credit cannot be recovered even upon taking all action on recovery of credit pursuant to this section, the bank or financial institution may make a request to Rashtra Bank for necessary provision to withhold and seize the passport of the borrower and to deprive such borrower from any facilities to be provided by the state. On receipt of such request, the Rashtra Bank shall forward the matter accompanied by its opinion to the government of Nepal for necessary action. Chapter 9. Provision relating to accounts, records, returns and reports. Disqualification for appointment as auditor. Section 64. Section 64. Any of the following person or any firm, company or institution in which such a person is promoter or partner shall not be eligible to be appointed as auditor of bank or financial institution. A promoter, director, chief executive of bank or financial institution or his or her family members. An officer, employee or internal auditor of bank or financial institution. A person working as a partner of director, chief executive or employee of bank or financial institution. A borrower or person having significant ownership or associate person of bank or financial institution or a person having financial interest. A person who is insolvent in Nepal or in foreign. A person, firm, company or institution having subscribed 1% or more share of the concerned bank or financial institution. A person who has been punished by the court for criminal offense and a period of 5 years has not been lapsed after he or he has served the punishment. A person who is not eligible to be appointed as auditor as per the prevailing law. Okay. A promoter, director, chief executive of a bank or financial institution or his or her family member. An officer, employee or internal auditor of bank or financial institution. A person working as partner of director, chief executive or employee of bank or financial institution. A borrower, a person having significant ownership or associate person of bank or financial institution or a person having financial interest. A person who is insolvent in Nepal or in foreign. A person, firm, company or institution having subscribed 1% or more of share of the concerned bank or financial institution. A person who has been punished by the court for criminal offense and a period of 5 years has not lapsed after he or she has served the punishment. A person who is not eligible to be appointed as auditor as per the prevailing law. Okay. Rashtra Bank shall recommend to the concerned regulating authority to remove the name of auditor who does not perform his or her duty as set forth in this Act from the panel of the auditor, prohibiting him to carry out the audit of any bank or financial institution for 1 year to 3 years. In case where such recommendation has been received, the concerned regulatory agency shall take action against such auditor under the prevailing law. Okay. Chapter 12 Provision on Mandatory Liquidation of BFI. Application may be filed by NRB before the court for mandatory liquidation of BFI. हो डिसेम्बर में एग्जाम हो अब पानी परेको छ यता त दिन रात. Compulsory liquidation is a formal insolvency procedure which result in a company being forcibly shut down. Section 78 provides a bank or financial institution may be subjected to mandatory liquidation in following circumstances. कुन circumstances हो भन्दाखेरि in case the mature deposit or the deposit to be repaid immediately or other financial liability could not be repaid on time and is due. त्यही त हो दसैँमा अब कस्तो पानी पर्यो होला त बेहाल हुने गरी. In case capital fund of the bank or financial institution is negative. फेरि सुरु हुन लागेको छ पानी त बुटोलमा पानी परेर त आनन्दै भयो होला गर्मी त कम भयो कम्तीमा. In case the Rashtra Bank recommend for the liquidation of a bank or financial institution based on an inspection report of the bank or financial institution. In case the shareholder with significant ownership or official of a bank or financial institution frequently commit acts causing obstruction against the right and interest of the depositor for the development of the financial institution for the development of financial system. In case of frequent violation of this act and directives given by Nepal Rashtra Bank. In case of in other situation as determined by Nepal Rashtra Bank for mandatory liquidation of bank or financial institution. The Nepal Rashtra Bank may file an application to the court for mandatory liquidation of bank or financial institution, and notice of application of such an action shall be published in daily newspaper of national level. Okay. It shall suspend entire financial transaction of bank or financial institution immediately after submission of the application to the court. It may, while issuing order for suspension of financial transaction, revoke the license of such bank or financial institution. It shall include the following document along with the application filed before the court for initiation of process of liquidation of any bank or financial institution. के चाहिँ पठाउनु पर्यो त भन्दाखेरि detail along with the reason for mandatory liquidation of bank or financial institution that the situation referred to in section 79 is prevailing. आर्टिकलसिप टोटल तिम्रो 12, 24, 36 फटाफट सक्यो भने 3 years कम्प्लिट गर्नुपर्छ. 3 yearsमा अब 120 days लिभ लिन पाइयो, एक्जाम लिभ. त्यो बाहेक अरू चाहिँ अब गर्नु पर्यो. फाइनेन्सियल स्टेटमेन्ट अफ अ ब्याङ्क अर फाइनेन्सियल इन्स्टिट्युसन अनि अदर सिचुएसन कहाँ पुग्यो म डिटेल फाइनेन्सियल स्टेटमेन्ट अफ ब्याङ्क अफ ओके यहाँ थिए होइन त्यसको लागि त सार्दिउँ. Any of the following person may, with prior approval of Rashtra Bank, file application to the court by mentioning the ground to show the situation that a bank or financial institution may be subjected to mandatory liquidation as in section 79. Joint application of the depositor having representative of more than 25% of the total deposit who do not get the payment of the payable deposit or of more than 1% of the depositor. The person competent to file application for mandatory liquidation according to the prevailing law relating to insolvency. Okay. यो दुईटाले पनि फाइल गर्न पायो. In case the court order for initiation of process of liquidation of bank or financial institution based on the application referred as above, the process of mandatory liquidation of bank or financial institution shall be commenced from the date of passing of such an order. Okay. Group 2 पास भएको भए त कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन है. अब डिसेम्बरमा ग्रुप 1 पनि पास गर्ने नि. In case the court order for initiation of the process of liquidation of bank or financial institution based on the application referred as above, the process of mandatory liquidation of bank or financial shall be commenced from the date of order. Okay. Appointment of liquidator यिनीहरू त भएन हैन. त्यसपछि 79 खै त अनि 79 को चाहिँ सेक्सन 79. ओके. एप्सनमा section 79. ग्रुप 1 मा त अकाउन्ट्स ल र अडिट त होला. क्याप 2 मा अब बाँकी भनेपछि ल र अडिट थ्योरी, अकाउन्ट्स पनि अब एनएफआरएस थ्योरी बेस नै हुन्छ हैन। ओके थ्याङ्क यू अब पढौँ, नपढी हुँदैन यार। Compulsory liquidation is a formal insolvency procedure which result in a company being मैले हालेको नि होला अकाउन्ट्सको कुनको लाइक अलिकति टिप्स टाइपको भिडियोहरू 1-2 साल अगाडि CAJWA त्यो हेरेर पनि अलिकति हेल्प हुन सक्छ यदि हेर्न चाहेको खण्डमा। Compulsory liquidation is a formal insolvency procedure which result in company being forcibly shut down. Section 78 provides a bank or financial institution may subject to the mandatory liquidation in following circumstances. In case the major deposit or the deposit to be repaid immediately or other financial liability could not be paid on time and is due. In case the capital fund of the bank or financial institution is negative. In case the Rashtra Bank recommend for liquidation of bank or financial institution based on an inspection report of the bank or financial institution. In case the shareholder with significant ownership or official of bank or financial institution frequently commit act causing obstruction against the right and interest of the depositor for development of the financial system. Okay. In case of frequent violation of this act, मैले त्यति बेलै मैले कस्तो स्ट्र्याटेजीहरू एडप्ट गरेको थिएँ तातै भएको बेला चाहिँ भिडियोहरू बनाएर हालिदिएको थिएँ कि। अब मैले युट्युबमा आफैले पनि पहिला सर्च गर्दाखेरि कसैको नि भिड्दैन थियो, अनि अब हालिराखौँ फर्दर CAJWA पढ्ने भाइ बहिनीहरूलाई सजिलो होस् भनेर हालिरहेको थिएँ। धेरैलाई हेल्प भएको रहेछ। जे होस्, एकै एटेम्पमा पास भउनेहरूलाई त खासै केही हुँदैन। अब 1-2 एटेम्प लाग्नेहरूलाई चाहिँ अलिक टेन्सन हुन्छ। अब कसैले केही गाइड गर्दै हुन्थ्यो, कसैले मलाई अलिकति मोटिभेट गर्दै हुन्थ्यो भन्ने टाइपको फिल हुन्छ क्या। ओके, सस्पेन्ड इन्टायर तपाईले हाल्यो है। यहाँसम्म 79 को नि भयो भनेपछि अब ओके, फेरि हामी एकछिनमा पढ्छौँ। अहिले एकछिन रेस्ट गरौँ। बाई बाई।